two, come, let's go. I said, run, 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 two, come, let's go.
So at the end of the day, y'all, at the end of the day, we born, we live, and we pass on. You know what I'm saying? Either we getting cremated or we going in the ground. Everybody get a different amount of time to accomplish some things or to not accomplish some things. What are you going to do with the time you got? I mean, it's just like a new car. You get the newest, hottest Bentley out, the newest, hottest Sprinter, the newest, hottest Cadillac. But at the end of the day, where do it wind up? Winds up in the junkyard. At one point in time, all these cars was considered newest. They were considered the newest, latest, and greatest. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as they get older and newer cars come out and new things change, the technology change, where do they wind up? They wind up in a junkyard. What are you going to do with the time you got? You know, the baby's born. Everybody's, oh, a new baby. You register. Let me get you some diapers. Let me get you this. Let me get you that. As the baby grows up, it develops skills, personalities. Some develop into NBA players, football players, business people, nurses, doctors, teachers, which are very important. We always forget about them. Therapists or whatnot. What are you going to do with the allotted time that you have? What are you going to do? Because at the end of the day, you're going in the ground. Just like this. Do you know what happened to these cars? Once they leave the junkyard, they get crushed. And they get melted and recycled. Now they say energy is never created or destroyed. So we don't know where our energy going to go. But while you're in your vessel, what are you going to do with your energy? This video I'm about to present, since it's such a sensitive subject matter, I'm going to blur me out so you could get the message. It's not about me. It's not about being on video. Oh, yeah, he did a good job. It ain't about that. I want you to get the message. So listen to the message and enjoy. But at the end of the day, remember, you're going in the ground. Holla. Till we meet again. Peace. Well, here we go again. What would actually bring me to come and do this again? Well, something else on my heart. Something else on my heart. I remember, I say it was about November, December, and I was getting this overwhelming feeling. For some reason, one day I woke up and just had an overwhelming feeling, and the aggressive, the overwhelming feeling that I was feeling. It was a feeling of loss. It was a big feeling like death. Now this was November, December, and I would wake up every morning and I would have this feeling. Now personally, I have no fear of anything, of course, except, the Creator. But for some reason, I felt fear. I didn't know what it was from. I didn't know where the energy was coming from. It was like an overwhelming energy. And I was so scared about talking about it because, you know, when you talk about things, it's a theory. Everybody don't believe the same. But it's a theory that when you talk about something, you end up actually manifest it. So for me, I didn't want to talk about that. I didn't want to talk about death. I especially didn't want to talk about the uncertainty of if it was going to be me. So I did not want to speak it. So I'm getting this overwhelming feeling of death constantly. Didn't say anything. A couple days passed, didn't go nowhere. 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, 4 days passed, a month passed, and boom! Happy New Year. Kobe Bryant is dead. Happy New Year. Kobe Bryant is dead. Now, Kobe Bryant is my favorite NBA player of all time. Over Jordan. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan. That's not what I'm saying. We know Jordan is the GOAT in certain people's eyes. But Kobe was not better than Jordan. But he was still my favorite player. Kobe died. You see the call, you get the calls, you see it on your text, you don't think it's real to somebody close to you, say, guess what, babe? Kobe Bryant died. I'm like, what? Get out of here. Whatever. She said, Kobe Bryant is dead. Blew me out of my shoes. I had to do my checking. Look, it was real. You know, you looking at the news, wasn't nothing there. Next thing you know, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, it's everywhere. Wifey telling me this blew my mind, but actually thinking about it, comprehending that he gone, it was hard. It was uncomprehended. You just couldn't comprehend it. So Kobe Bryant died. I'm thinking, wake up the next morning, the feeling gonna be gone. No. Still there, even stronger. I'm like, man, what is this? Next thing you know, February, March, boom, coronavirus. All these deaths, 50,000, 46,000, 10,000, Italy, 7,800, just death. Blowing my mind. During the coronavirus season, I got a cousin that's my age, just passed. Not from corona. We'll talk about that another day. I ain't gonna put his business out there. People that I personally have known of or knew of them dead. Mainly older adults, but it's still death. His funeral was today. And I was on the phone, you know, the little apps with my cousins and them. And, you know, we close, people crying. You know, we wasn't close growing up. Some of them was, but that's another story for another day. But, you know, everybody's sad, everybody crying. They going in the funeral with the camera showing the body and, well, my cousin's vessel, you know, that was here. It was sad. It was sad. So it got me to ask the man, 100, what is death? What the heck is death? When we talk about death, according to the dictionary, death is a noun. And in all honesty, is it? Is death a person? Is death a place? And is death a thing? Because that's the definition of a noun pretty much. At least that's what my teachers told me. So is death a person? that comes with the sickle or whatever that thing is, and yakak? Is it a place that you go to? Or is it a thing? Is it a living, actual manifestation, molecule field thing? We don't know. According to the dictionary, death is the action or fact of dying or being killed. It's the end of the life of a person or an organism. An organism could be an ant, a flower, a plant, a microbe, an amobia, a nebia. The death of it means the physical being of it being here is gone. Now, we all going to die, and we all know this. But yet, that's something people try not to think about. They literally try not to think about it. They don't think about it, or they really don't discuss it. According to Daniel Cossins, he did an article in New Science magazine in 2019, basically talking about death. And basically what he's saying is, death is one of the most significant things that is going to happen to you in your life. In your life. Actually, he didn't even say in your life. He said in your essence. He said in your essence. It's going to be the most important thing you ever do in your essence. But we don't prepare for it. Why? Is it fear? You know what I'm saying? What is it? How would you prepare for death? Like, if you were to actually think about it, how would you prepare for death? What are some things that you can do? Well, I'm glad you asked. One of the main things that you could actually do in preparing for your death is to actually live. Live your life. Some people are not even living. Some people had dreams, never try to fulfill them because somebody say they couldn't do it. Some people don't go outside because they scared of something. Some people never leave town because they scared to leave their city. Some people never leave a block because that's all they know. They not living. They not even living. So one of the things you could do is actually live. The next thing you could do is, while you're living, create a destiny. Create a place to go. Because when you gone, you want you to still live on. Well, Mr. Aaron, what the heck is a destiny? There's many definitions, but destiny, legacy, inheritance, generational wealth, you know what I'm saying? This is stuff that you leave behind. While you living, you need to create these things. Don't just have I ain't saying nothing wrong with it, but don't just have a job, work, pay for what you want, and be out of here. It's your life, but that's kind of selfish a little bit, whatever your definition is. But I don't think that many people gonna talk about you unless on that job you was the hardest worker there. You had to do something to stand out. You treated people right. Creating a legacy is putting in work while you living. But guess what? You can't create a legacy with an unhealthy vessel, with an unhealthy machine. I hear a lot of people say vessels. I'm going to do a whole nother teaching on it. But for me, I like to call this a machine. The reason why I call it a machine, what do you do with a regular machine? You have to feed it energy. It's going to be gas. It's going to be something you plug into. Well, our energy is food. Energy for this. We got to exercise. You know what I'm saying? Which means we got to keep it tuned up. You know what I mean? Just like a car, you got to tune it up. You also have to clean a machine. We take baths. But you also have to get the most out of the machine, which means you got to use it. So in order to keep your body in tip-top shape, you got to actually use your muscles, work out, stay in shape, put the right fuel in there. You see people, you know, they want to look good, but they're eating crazy. That's like having a Ferrari, putting in mud as gas. No, you got to have a premium, fuel with the premium machine. So use your machine to create a legacy. While you living, creating your legacy, knowing you're gonna die, that's something else that you can do. You can actually get some life insurance. What is life insurance? What is that? A lot of people don't even know what it is. It's basically when you die, you got money that's gonna bury you. How many of us done been to funerals or have helped with a funeral where the person was living? They could be 90 years old with no life insurance. How does that happen? We got to get educated. You know, look for your local insurance agent. I've been licensed in insurance, life, health, and annuities since '05. You know what I'm saying? You talk to people about it, and they don't see it as a priority. You keep it pushing. For those that know what it is and what to use it for, let them holler at you. For those that don't. But, man, you might think life insurance is expensive. Life insurance, you could protect the whole family for $50,000 or $100,000 for like $25, $30 a month. You spend $100, everybody covered. Kids $5 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Accidental death, $100,000 on top of whatever your policy is. But this is not about life insurance. This is about death. What do life insurance have to do with it? Get you some, at least enough to bury you and to pay some bills for a year, whatever your budget is. Another thing that you need to get is a living will. What is that? Look it up. Google or whoever you look through is there. But basically, it's a letter to your folks that's notarized and signed by you and a witness, a lawyer, saying, this is what I want to happen to my stuff, and this is what I want to happen to my machine. Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried here in your hometown? Do you want to be buried abroad? Do you want your ashes sprinkled in the ocean? You know, you create what you want them to do with your body, along with where you want your stuff to go. Now, if you're married, pretty much everything's going to her. Or, you know, vice versa. Pretty much everything's going to him. So, you know, they pretty much supersede rank, you know, with in certain exceptions. But at the end of the day, they pretty much going to get everything. But if you got a living will, you could distribute it how you want it, pretty much. So, now, today, like I mentioned before, was my cousin's funeral. And the health department was there. The actual health department was there. And why was the health department, why was they there? Because, you know, of this thing that we fighting, what we got to wear masks for. I'm not even going to keep giving it a name. They was there, and people only had 2 minutes to go in, holler at him for 2 minutes, then you out of there. Wasn't no second trip, third, fourth trip, none of that. And get in your car. You can't even hang in a parking lot and hug your folks. Yeah. Basically, it was a drive-by funeral. You know, we had people coming from 2 and 3 states over, 2 and 3 states down, coming to the funeral, get there, come in for 2 minutes, bang, see his vessel, bang, out of there. Can't even kick it and hug in the parking lot and chill and talk and reminisce. Not on, you got to go. Get in your car and you got to go. And if you don't, the police coming. Crazy. So, that's the reason why you want to have a will. Because in the future, you already know they're going to have cyber funerals. Everything, a funeral's going to be online. They're going to dress the body up, have it in a casket. Millions of people could come in. Think if the other people, famous people that passed, had a cyber funeral. We all would have tuned in. If it was 99 cents to tune in to Kobe's funeral, people would have tuned in. I would have paid a nice amount to watch it because I felt the connection with it. So we already know cyber funerals is coming. Now, another thing, they also got new technology coming where they could create an artificial intelligent person of you that'll live online forever and interact with your people based on what you feed it, based on the information you put in there. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to live forever on the internet. It's the future. I'm telling you, watch. It's the future. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, watch. Cyber funerals and you as an android living forever. Now I want to go into some facts. I want to just get some information for you. I want to get some information for you. Did you know that your job can actually kill you? Yes, your job can actually kill you. Or it is killing you. Well, how's my job actually killing me? Your job is killing you because every day you go to it, you hate it, which causes your stress levels to go up. As your stress levels go up, that causes you to have tension in your body. You having tension in your body causes you to have headaches. It causes you to actually feel tight, stressed, uptight. And some of y'all standing all day in one spot. Some of y'all in cold temperatures. Some of y'all getting wet, and some of y'all out in the heat. That's stress on your exterior. So your exterior is being stressed and your interior is being stressed. And you probably ain't been in your spiritual how you should be. So you could be spiritually stressed. Well, research in applied psychology has found that job demands affect health outcomes. Now, this is from Hobson, Catherine Hobson, from U.S. News and World Report, February the 10th, basically saying, in her advanced research in psychology, they have found that job demands affects your actual health. It's been proven. So it's just not me here talking. These are professionals. One factor is how much control employees have over the demands of their jobs. How much pull do you got? If you ain't got no pull, you basically an epsilon, and that's a whole nother rabbit trail, and we'll get to that. But basically, if you don't have no control, you basically being told what to do all day. Pressure by itself wasn't a key factor in their decision, so they just ain't talking about pressure. It's a combination of high demand and low control. So if that's you with high demand at your job and low control, your job is stressing you out, and your job is possibly killing you, which means it's shortening your life, and that's not living. That combination often found in lower ranking, lower paying jobs. We ain't gonna name those jobs because we need people. Hey, the president and CEO of a major corporation is just important as the custodial workers. Because if the custodial workers ain't doing their job, the plant is dirty, the machines get filthy, the machines break up, the machines costing the company money because they got to have people come in and fix them, which makes the CEO look at the budget, which saying, y'all supervisors better get on y'all job to tell y'all managers, to tell them custodial workers that they better clean this company. So just because they getting paid less don't mean their job is less important, but the demand could be higher. Not saying whose demand is higher, but if you don't have no control, usually CEOs have control. But if you have a low ranking job with high demand, your job is probably killing you. And it said it is associated with an earlier death as well as health problems. That's not me talking. That's not me talking. That was, like I said, that was Catherine Hobson. Now let's go into some numbers. Let's go into some numbers. Now, when we look at 2017, in 2017, nearly 40,000 people died. But what did they die from? No, we still ain't talking about the job. We moved on. Their job ain't kill them. You know what killed them? The heat, the guns. Nearly 40,000 people died. Actually, in 2017, nearly 40,000 people were killed from gun-related incidents in the U.S. That's just in the U.S. If you do the math, that's like 3,000 people per month. That's 100 people a day that got smoked. Either they smoked somebody or smoked themselves, or they got smoked. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, still talking about death. In 2017, 47,173 Americans died from suicide. So more people died in 2017 of suicide than gun violence. The age-adjusted suicide rate in 2017 was about 14 people per 100,000. The rate of suicide was, you know, if we're looking at the statistics, if y'all want to actually check out the statistics, was middle-aged white men. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. So you got, in America, 2017, African Americans or African people or people from African descent or whatever, people die from the heat. People die from guns. 40,000, not all black, but they say that we're the highest, right? So we have the problem. We need to go to jail. Well, it was more white middle-aged men that died of suicide than black people that killed each other in 2017. 47,173 people, Americans, died from suicide. The top candidate, middle-aged white men in particular, in 2017, men were 3.5 times more often looking to commit suicide than women. On the average, that's 129,000. No, I'm just playing. 129 suicides per day. White males accounted for 69.67%. In 2017, firearms accounted for 50% of all suicide deaths. So half of that number is from guns. That's in 1 year. That's America. We got 350 million people here. You do the numbers. You add it up. It was the 10th leading cause of death. And basically it was 1.4 million. 1.4 million suicide attempts. You know how much that cost us? $69 billion on suicide and self-injury. $69 billion. Check this out. Still talking about death. How many people you know that smoke tobacco? You know, you might smoke it in a blunt, you might smoke it in a cigarette, you might hookah it or whatever. But we ain't gonna discriminate. But we only talking about cigarettes. We only talking about cigarettes. According to the CDC, this ain't me talking, according to the CDC, in 2017, cigarette smoking is responsible for more than 480,000 deaths in 2018. 480,000. That's almost 500,000 people that died that year from cigarettes. Only cigarettes related deaths in the US alone. Guess what else? 41,000 of those deaths was from secondhand smokers. So that ain't even, if this person next to me, which ain't nobody there, if they didn't smoke and I smoke, I'm killing them. 41,000 people died in 2018 from cigarette smoke or cigarette-related diseases. 41,000 from secondhand smoke. But I don't recall wearing a mask for that or social distancing for that. I'm just saying it's proven that it specifically affects me, but I didn't have to wear a mask. This new thing hypothetically could be passed, but they are wearing masks. I'm just saying. On average, that's about 1,300 deaths every day. 1,300 people a day died in 2018 in America from cigarette-related deaths. On average, smokers died 10 years earlier than non-smokers. Mom, I don't know why you chose to pick up smoking late in life, but stop. So I need that extra 10 years to kick it with you. So can you stop smoking, please? Cigarettes, please? Cigarettes. Stop. Worldwide, and that was actually November 28, 2018, by the way. Worldwide, tobacco use causes more than 7 million deaths per year. 7 million worldwide, cigarettes. That's 19,000 deaths a day. 19,000 deaths a day. Ain't nobody wearing no mask. They ain't been wearing no mask. All these cigarette companies getting paid. Billions. Of death. Death. But ain't nobody wearing no mask. And the world didn't shut down. I don't recall the world shutting down for that. That's way more numbers than what's going on right now. Way more. Use your brain, y'all. Use your brain. Now let's get back into the meat. When a person dies, we're talking about death. When a person actually dies, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that go on. When a person dies, it's a lot of things that happen. It's usually a big, heavy sadness. People cry. They catch headaches. They have difficulty sleeping. They questioning their purpose. They question spiritual beliefs. They have feelings of disenchantment. They feel anxiety. They feel stressed. They lost the appetite. You get all kind of feelings. Now, according to this professional that wrote a book, her name is Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Her name is Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She wrote a book in 1969. The book was called Death.Dying. I actually had a college course on it, and it was actually a great read. Honestly, it was a great read. So if you're out there, you're interested in death, check it out. It's going to enlighten you. It's going to help you. But in her book, she says it's pretty much 5 stages of death. It's basically like 5 stages of death. The first stage is denial. Denial. Now, when we talk about denial, that's pretty much usually the stage where grief could be overwhelming. You know, grief, the feeling could just overwhelm you. It's not unusual that people have sudden feelings of pretending the loss ain't happening. They're pretending like it didn't even happen. They act like, well, if they ain't dead, they're going to come around the corner any second. Or let me call them on their phone. They're going to pick up. I'm going to hit them on a text. They're going to text me back. And you hear a lot of people talk about Kobe Bryant. They text him or they got a text from him right before he passed. You know what I mean? Screenshot that. Put that up. That's the first stage. Now, the next stage is actually anger. So first you in denial, like, man, he ain't dead. And then when you find out they died, now you mad. Was I mad Kobe was dead? Yes. Because now I'm not going to be able to see what other great things he's going to do. So you feel angry. Many people feel that denial is a coping mechanism. But anger, when anger comes, what it does, it tries to cover up the denial. It tries to actually cover up the denial. Anger is hiding many of your emotions and pains that you feel. Anger actually hides the pain that you feel. You just put up a block and you just mad at the world. The danger of anger is that it may be redirected at other people. Other people that's around you. Of course, you know, the one you love, the ones that you love, and they're around you the most, they gonna feel it the most. You may even aim your anger at objects, which means you just start tearing stuff up. I remember Shaq said when Kobe won his 5th championship, he was so mad he started tearing up his house. And you know Shaq, I mean, he multied up. He probably got some expensive stuff, and at that moment he probably didn't care. He just thought the more expensive, the more he was gonna break it. You know what I'm saying? Because he was angry, which means death could cost you. Anger could cost you. Anger can cost you. Death of a loved one. If she loved me, she wouldn't have left me. She would have listened. She would not have went where I told her not to go. You just get angry. So the next stage after anger, you got denial, you got anger, now you got bargaining. What do I mean by bargaining? During grief, you feel helpless, but while you're in your deep, intense emotions, it's not uncommon that people try to find a way to gain control of other situations in their life. They want to try to find another way to gain control of other situations in their life. You know, you might find yourself saying, what if I only did this? Or what if I only did that? Or if I had stopped over there and told him not to go, I was supposed to link up with him, we were supposed to drink, and that wouldn't have happened. Well, that didn't happen, so then you say, well, God, if you could stop this pain, if you could stop this hurt, I won't cuss for a year. You start doing ridiculous things like that because you're not in your right mind. Because you feeling, you overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? You overwhelmed with emotion, you overwhelmed with fear, you overwhelmed with anger. So you start rationalizing. Then once you realize the reality of what actually happened, you go into depression. You go into this deep, low place. It's not quite the sunken place, but it's low. It's pretty low. Depression. You may also choose to isolate yourself from others in order to fully cope with the loss. So you might isolate yourself from other people because the feeling is overwhelming. Some people might even sleep a lot. You know, you feel this cloudy feeling. It might feel heavy. You might feel confused. Some people feel sick. Some people feel drained. The last thing that you usually feel, and that usually happens, is acceptance. In this stage, you pretty much accept that the person is gone. You accept that they're probably in a happier place, even though we don't know what's on the other side. But what acceptance does, it actually allows you to move on in your life, which is most important. Because at that point is where you can continue to use the memories that they gave you, good and bad, some knowledge that could prevent you from being in certain situations or lead you to situations where you could go and create your legacy. Kobe Bryant won 5 championships, a high school championship as well, and won an Oscar. He has done the impossible 6 times, 7 times. When I say impossible, I mean for one individual. We're not just talking about money. This boy's ability was elite. He didn't go to college, y'all. He was high school champion, straight to the league. Bombed the first year. The same shot that he missed, he made next year to make his reputation. He went out on a bad shot versus a team. And Shaq told him, they laughing this year, but in the future, people gonna fear you taking that shot. And that was the truth. That one line probably helped shape Kobe's legacy. One sentence. One. What one sentence can you tell somebody else to help shape their legacy? Yeah, instead of you in the house just wasting time watching whatever, listening to whatever, You could be out talking to somebody or meeting somebody and instilling legacies. You could be instilling ability, instilling hope, instilling passion. One thing I'm going to say is you better quit wasting your life. You better stop wasting it. We don't know how much time we got left, y'all. We just assume we going to have more time. We don't know. This situation with this wearing mask thing, we don't know what's next. That's stage 1. That was the test. Can we shake these people up? Can we get them scared? Can we change the world with a big jolt? 9/11 was one, bang, bang. And look at this one, bang, bang, bang. What's next? Kaboom? Kaboom? Just make sure, let me just say this. I'm a history buff, and what I mean by history, I read and I study history for fun. And you have to watch what you read and watch what you study, because some people put false living situations in to make themselves look good. If I'm writing a story about myself and it's not 100% fact, of course I'm gonna make myself look good. So that's kind of what happened in the past on a lot of history. But I'm talking about I really study history and read. You know what I'm saying? Study some guys that's on the internet. They got some good stuff. But do your own research. But in doing so, when I look at my personal history, I look at prominent people in my past. I have a blood relative that's in the Negro Hall of Fame. Literally. I never seen a Negro League game in my life. That was before my time. But the people before me have done it in my bloodline. How was that inspiring? Because it can inspire me. Back then, he black, African American, or African, or whatever you want to call it, melanated. I like to use melanated, darkly melanated. Another conversation. But if he could do it, I could do it. Whatever I'm trying to do. So get out and start living. Don't just sit around waiting to die. Don't just get acquainted with people that only are doing the things that you know how to do. Go find some things that you don't know how to do. One of the things, I used to skate when I was younger, but I never rollerbladed. I almost gave my age. Last year I was rollerblading. Let's just put it like that. Last year I was out rollerblading in the park. You know what I'm saying? So do some things. Get out your comfort zone. Live. Because you don't know when you're going to die. At the end of the day, we only given about 70 different springs, 70 different summers. See, Christmas about 70 different times. You got about 70 different Easters. And then you old. No matter how you look at it, you're not young no more. You're old. Don't waste them. How many summers or how many springs or how many winters or how many Christmases do you got left? You don't know. So make sure in between each Christmas, make sure you getting out and live. Read between the lines. When I talk about death, when I talk about wearing these masks, when I'm talking about 480,000 people died in 2018 from cigarette smoke, and from this quote unquote thing that happened, 50,000 people died, 60,000 people died, 480,000. You got 480,000 deaths, 60,000 deaths, or under 60,000, whatever the number is going to be. But this is not one of those situations where we got to wear masks and not be 6 feet in business clothes. This is everyday living. This over here, we got to wear masks, change the world and all this other stuff, legislation coming in. So read between them lines on your own. That being said, I'm out. I appreciate y'all's time and attention. As you go through these stages of death, especially my family members, I want to say I love y'all on both sides. Right now, on my pop side, you know what I'm saying? We got some heavy grieving to do. So I'm with y'all. I love y'all. And make sure you get in contact with y'all loved ones. The ones that you ain't know. The ones you ain't talked to. The ones you still got a grudge with for over 20 years ago. They done moved on. You still stuck. Live your life, y'all. Today could be your last day. Holla. Make sure you like and subscribe. Holla at me. Till next time.
Run, two, come, let's go. I said run.